Welcome to the Arsenal Armchair podcast, coming through to you live from Hoxton Radio Studios here in the East End of London. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for dropping by to say hello, and hopefully we can keep you entertained and stimulated with all things Arsenal for the next little while on the show today. We'll look at the fixture list, which has just come out and been published this morning. We've had a nice peruse through it to see who we're kicking off against in the middle of August, who will be playing on Boxing Day, who we've got at home on the final day of the season, plus then maybe some other notable fixtures when we play them lot up the road, etc. World Cup in full swing. We've got a few funny little bits with some Arsenal players involved, plus then just general mishaps and antics, mainly off the pitch. That's the stuff that's kind of captivated me this week. The on the pitch stuff's been fine as well, but there's just been some funnier fan moments that I hope will tickle you too. Arsenal just dropped a new range of training wear this week, so we'll have a little thumb through that, plus a bit of like transfer news, murmurings in that department. And then Player of the Season awards. We've already got the Women's Player of the Season has been announced and decorated, and then on the Arsenal website they're counting down, so we'll bring you that. Plus the news on some supporters groups who we're going to be chatting to. We've signed one up. We're actually recording an additional show, or rather we're recording next week's bulk of content this afternoon. We're calling the United States of America, which should be really fun. And we're also chatting to the team at Arsenal Netherlands. So it's starting to take shape. The Armchair, that's just this still plasticky chair in the studio, soon to be filled by some other supporters groups. So that's exciting, ain't it? I guess headline news for us all today, and a date that's perhaps been in your calendar for a while, is the fixture list dropping. It's exciting to kind of just get planning and thinking ahead. And like, last season has only just, it's still fresh in my memory. I still keep having little recap moments, and that's all filled with adulation, but we can start glancing ahead to next season now. Or is it this season? What are we going to say? Let's just look at the fixture list that has come out today. We begin our title defence on Friday the 21st of August at home to newly promoted Coventry City. Should be an exciting one for them and good for us, because it'll be our first match at home as champions. New kit, couple of new signings. I guess Coventry hopefully can just enjoy the experience. When we played Brentford on the opening day a couple of seasons ago, it was their first match in their new stadium, and we had quite a few players out for COVID. It was before they decided to postpone fixtures if teams had COVID suffering players. So we had to play Brentford in their new stadium. It was rocking. It was a Friday night and they bloody beat us. So hopefully we can just make sure none of that happens on Friday the 21st against Coventry. We then play Villa the following weekend. That'll be the bank holiday weekend. That one's likely to get moved around in terms of timings. At the moment, most of them just sort of say Saturday at the moment. In September, we see then Chelsea, Sunderland, Brighton. October, Leeds, Forest, Liverpool away at the end of the month on Halloween. Could be a tricky one. November, just 3 matches, Hull, Newcastle, and at the end of November, Man City at home. And then December already looks busy without the addition of League Cup, Champions League, and that we've got Brentford. Do we always play Brentford in December? Our first meeting of Spurs of the season, Saturday the 5th, that'll be at their place. We then got Bournemouth at home, United at home just before Christmas. I can see us well and truly giving them a good stuffing for their turkey. Then we've got Palace on Boxing Day. So we travel to Selhurst Park on Boxing Day. So that's away. And then Fulham just before the end of December. Starting off the new year with Ipswich at home on the 2nd of January. We then have Brentford at home, Hull away, Newcastle, and then City away. Saturday 30th of Jan. Will be a toughie. And then we start Feb with Liverpool at home. This is when I guess the pinch point and the fixtures kind of kick in a bit. Ipswich, Fulham, United away in Feb. So I guess the period of like end of Jan into Feb is when it's hardest for us. March, only 3 fixtures so far. Crystal Palace at home, Chelsea away, Sunderland at home. But you've got to expect a couple of Champions League and perhaps FA Cup fixtures pivoted around that. Going into April, Coventry away, Villa at home, Bournemouth away, and then into May, another busy month. If we're competing for multiple trophies, it's going to be jam-packed schedule for the Arsenal. Saturday the 1st of May, Spurs at home. We then travel to Leeds the following weekend. Forest after that. Everton away after that, and Brighton at home on Sunday the 30th of May. Is it going to be the longest fixture list ever, longest season ever? Or I guess they've shifted everything back a little bit because of the World Cup. But so far so good. Kicking off at home against Coventry is a goodie. And then we've got quite a few runs of fixtures. Aside from Chelsea, it's a fairly smooth enough sort of run to get ourselves up to speed before we then play Liverpool at the end of October, City the end of November, and then Spurs and United in December. Hopefully we're well and truly up and running by then. I've seen Arsenal have launched a couple of new experiences for the season ahead, and I'd like you to all cobble together and chip in your 2 pence for the touchline experience that I'd like you to buy for me for my birthday, which is coming up in December. So by then we can hopefully afford £3,199 for the new touchline experience, which includes premium match seats behind the Arsenal bench, exclusive area to witness player arrival, and walk out the tunnel to watch the warm-up. So this is a new hospitality package. It's one of a few that Arsenal have launched for this season. Also, the Hero experience, which is priced at around £6,500 per match. I'm guessing you get to perhaps just meet and shake the hands of a player or a legend for that sort of money, but incredible kind of dollars that we're bringing in. $3,000 for a home match, $6,000 for some of these experiences, and people are going to be paying it. So hopefully that can go towards the wages of a new maybe winger to start with, left winger, maybe striker, maybe right back. We'll get into transfers in a bit. I just saw this funny vid of Mo at the World Cup. He bumped into Victor Gyökeres and he asked him, "What do you think of Tottenham?" That chant. It was pretty cool. A funny little shot of the hydration break that has been widely booed this week, as we've all got a bit more used to these kind of 4 quarters of the match, which they're saying is for. In the MLS, if it gets above a certain temperature, that's when you have the hydration breaks. But they've factored them into every World Cup match, regardless of the temperature. The matches yesterday were at 20, mid-20s, and they're still having the hydration breaks, which is obviously so they can include more commercial breaks. But a funny little shot of England having a little tea break during the hydration station. Also, then the Norway fans who got their campaign off to a flying start, not celebrating, just doing their own kind of rowing antics, which have been tickling me. Elsewhere then, I don't know if you saw the beach ball that got on the loose in El Salvador. A massive inflatable beach ball goes hurtling down the street during these high storms. Looks funny. It was filled with air. It was all right. Piero Hincapié has been signing some autographs in a rather cheeky fashion during our last home match of the season against Burnley. He went in for a sliding tackle and his shorts got pretty much pulled off and his bum was exposed. So a fan has printed some Hincapié bum stickers, which he seemed to be pretty happy to sign. Elsewhere then, the Japan fans have been pleasing us in that they've been very tidy with their overall behaviour inside the stadium, with the fans clearing up after themselves and leaving it spotless. And then the changing room, the players and the staff, they left that in immaculate condition as well. I hope that some of that can catch on. Maybe we can all be a bit tidier, a bit more respectful about and around the beautiful game. New training wear dropped this week from Arsenal. The 2026-27 official gear has just launched, black and orange. It looks a bit papaya, this orange colour, much like the McLaren Formula One team. So they've been really successful over the last year or so. So let's hope Arsenal's training gear can bring the same for us. Kind of like the main ones, it's black with orange, but then they also flip it to be orange with black. Hopefully good for the Arsenal Netherlands fan group, who we're hoping to catch up with really soon. We've been chatting to Jens Timmer, who's one of the correspondents and pundits on their show, and we're looking to hopefully, bring you their chat in the next week or so. Arsenal Netherlands Supporters Club is their official get up, www.arsenalsupporters.nl. NL is where you'll find them if you want to check in and see what they're up to. It's all in Dutch on the website, so I'm afraid I can't translate it right about now. But Jens, when he joins us on the show very soon, can do that for you, and hopefully he's a fan of the new training wear. A couple of like leaked kits that have been like sneaking their way out. We've got this like retro Adidas kit with the JVC on, a black one. Sort of unofficial. I don't know, like they mock it up and they show the players in the kit, and they're such good like replica photos, etc. It just looks like it's a real thing, but I haven't seen it actually be advertised anywhere to buy yet. But it looks like a really cool kit, this like black version of the 90s classic JVC Adidas shirt. Maybe we see it on the shelves. Maybe, I don't know. We can speculate, can't we? I like seeing, there's also then this like Eze shirt where he's in a sort of burgundy color kit. I don't know if there's anything in that as well. This time of year, like, I've been finding a lot of fun on Twitter, really. That's where most of my like news stories have been coming through. But then there's just pictures of Arsenal kits that I can't help but click on. And it seems to be people are having a lot of fun on X during this World Cup. And I'm joining them. In actual Arsenal news, Women's Player of the Season has been announced, and that award goes to Alessia Russo. She's won the Arsenal's fan-voted Women's Player of the Season award. It comes after Russo enjoyed her best campaign in front of goal, finding the back of the net 24 times in 40 games in all competitions. The highlight for the Gooners came back in March when the formidable forward scored a hat-trick in the North London derby to help us stuff Spurs 5-2 at the Emirates. Bit of speculation starting to grow, or I don't know, just this is coming from football365.com, that Arsenal would maybe listen to offers for Ethan Nwaneri. I mean, he occupies that number 10 space that it's going to be hard to dethrone Martin Odegaard from being the starter as our number 10. Also then Eze, that's the position he's looking to make his own. Plus then Mikel Merino, we've got him coming back to fitness and easily performing in that position. Plus then Kai Havertz. We've almost got like 4 number 10s, and Nwaneri being such a young recruit who's come through our academy could probably fetch a fairly good price tag in the transfer market right now, and all of that will go back to Arsenal because he's a homegrown player. All of that money will come back to us, so looks like could be willing to listen to some offers for Nwaneri this summertime. Don't know what you think about that. Always obviously nice to keep the young gunners on side, but obviously nice to get a few quid in the coffers as well. We've just signed a young wonder kid, close to agreeing a deal. A young 16-year-old is currently at Leicester City, described as a wonder kid with all sorts of just like trickery, ball skills, the kind of flair that you want a wonder kid to possess. Apparently, according to courtoffside.com, has already agreed personal terms with the Arsenal, and all parties are believed to be optimistic that the transfer can be finalised. We've been scouting this player for quite a while. Maybe a new wonder kid set to join the Arsenal from next season. Talk about Morgan Rogers. I guess that seems to still be a lot of on people's radar. And then Julian Alvarez, not sure about that one. I think he's probably going to remain in Spain because there's been a bit of a bidding war for him going on. Real Madrid have had a few offers kind of flatly rejected at the moment. You've got to expect that he's probably going to go and progress pretty well with Argentina at the World Cup, so his value is only going to rise even more. And why would he want to come back to England? I mean, he left Man City a couple of years ago to get back to Spain, the country he knows and loves, so why would he then? I know coming to Arsenal's a bit different to playing your footy in rainy Manchester, however, he's in Spain. He speaks the language. He can have paella whenever he wants. He can have the odd glass of sangria. He gets the lingo and he's very popular, so I can't really see that one happening. But we're keeping our eyes and ears open to anyone that wants to be, I guess, attached to our beautiful and glorious club. Big shout out to Curtis Powers of the Face Radio in Brooklyn in NYC. He's actually part of the Arsenal Supporters Club out in New York, and they regularly have meetups for all of our games and our matches. And when fans go over to New York, I know that they always welcome them in. And we're going to have Curtis on the show with us next week. We're actually recording an episode with Curtis Powers of the Face Radio a bit later on this afternoon. So in the meantime, check out the Face Radio over in New York and in Brooklyn for all of your art, culture, radio flicks, and also then obviously get onto Hoxton Radio here in London, which is the station that you can catch me presenting on fairly regularly, and our website is full of listings for art and culture, and mainly in London, but sometimes beyond, and we're always interested to collaborate with you if you've got an event happening in and around the capital, or if you've got something going on that you want shouting out, drop us a line, give us a call, and we'll give you a mention. It's pretty much been the Arsenal Armchair podcast for this week, episode 6. I hope you enjoy some of the visuals if you are watching it on YouTube, and I hope you enjoy the audio if you're listening in wherever you're listening. Have a great rest of week, World Cuppers, and we'll see you on the next one.